everybody, and welcome to another episode of Life According to Nikki.
Are we kidding? Oh my gosh, I love that.
It is a brand new week, you guys, which, as you all know, means I have a whole list of things that I have recently watched that I am so ready to talk about. Let's start off with Anyone But You. I avoided watching it in the theaters, but I finally succumbed once it dropped on Amazon Prime, and I did pay for my rental. And guys, I didn't like it. I know, so many of you did, but I didn't like it. And I watched it with my friend Jatil, and she also didn't like it. And before you come at me, I want you to know that I wanted to like it. I was not trying to be a harsh critic. I was there for a good, silly little rom-com. Okay, one of my favorite movies of all time is She's the Man, which is a Shakespeare adaptation. So I was beyond ready to just absolutely fall in love with this film, for it to be my new cult classic, which She's the Man has always been for me. Side note, if you have never seen She's the Man, please go watch that immediately. It is one of the most quotable movies of all time. During high school, there was a phase in not only my life, but my friend group's life, where we would go every single Tuesday to the theater for $5 Tuesday, and then on Friday nights, we would watch movies together. We began watching She's the Man every single week. I think it was just someone selected it one week, and it was a really good time, and then the next week, kind of as a joke, and then we all just continued picking it every single Friday night. We watched She's the Man for about 2.5 months straight. Every single Friday. If there is one movie that your girl can quote, it's She's the Man. Some of the most iconic lines of all time come from that and Mean Girls, which we will get to in a second, because I did watch the new one. But I really feel like She's the Man is something everyone needs to experience. You know, the line 1-800-BIATCH. Oh, what a classic. Or how about I got a lifetime of knowledge. If you have seen the movie, you know how spot on those impressions are. That's actually a lie. Once you watch it, you will understand just how many quotes come from that movie. I felt this way when I watched Forrest Gump for the first time last year. I didn't realize just how many movie quotes were from that one singular film. And I feel like if you've never seen She's the Man, you're going to feel the same way. You're going to realize that these things that you've heard for so many years are actually all just quotes from this one movie. Okay, geez, I need to get back on track. We were talking about Anyone But You. I'm so sorry. You get me on these tangents, and I just go down every possible turn. I go down so many side roads that it's ridiculous, but we do eventually get to our destination. So thank you for being along for the ride. Let's get back onto our main road, which was us discussing my distaste for Anyone But You. Here were my biggest issues with this movie. I will be giving spoilers in the next couple minutes, so if you don't want those, skip ahead. Number 1, they make at this point in the beginning of the movie that she isn't quite sure if she wants to go to law school. And then, of course, in the middle, we find out that she has dropped out of law school, but she hasn't told her parents yet. And then there's this moment of drama when her parents find out, how could you waste away your future, blah, blah, blah. Here was my issue with that particular plot point. We didn't go anywhere with it. If you're going to mention that she wants to drop out of law school, then what does she want to do? We never mentioned any of her actual dreams, just the fact that she didn't want to go to law school. And it didn't really go into any sort of depth on why that was, what her problem with law school was. And then the parents being upset for 2 seconds, being like, how could you do this? They get in the argument, right? And then literally like 10 hours later, they're all chill. Everybody's cool. I don't know, it just to me felt like such a waste of screen time. Why did you bring up the whole law school thing if it was going to be resolved in 0.5 seconds and have nothing to do with the actual plot. And then in his whole confessional, when he's talking with her, I love how smart you are. Bro, you don't even know how smart she is. She just dropped out of law school. We know nothing else about her academics, okay? What is she even into? We don't know. Everything is so surface level in this movie that it kind of drove me crazy. Okay, second point. The ex-boyfriend showing up in Australia. The parents inviting him, flying him out for the world's longest weekend, by the way. That was so weird to me. I don't feel like he was necessary at all. Once again, he was a part of the plot that didn't need to be there and added nothing to the storyline. All we needed was to hear about him. We could have just known that she was with him for so long. That conversation between the two main characters where he asked, why did you break up? And she said, we never fought. All of that information was just told. We didn't actually need him on the island. He showed up, and what did he add? Someone tell me what he added to the plot. The whole fake dating trope was truly so her parents could get off her back about the ex-fiance and for the main guy to make his ex jealous. All we needed was making the ex jealous to justify the fake dating trope. It could just be the parents bugging her, just verbally, and her being like, okay, let's us two get together to trick them and to get your ex back, just so everyone will get off my back. I didn't need him to show up to make that happen. It was weird, and I understand that, they're trying to do the Shakespeare play, so maybe they were trying to be a little bit more accurate to that, but I feel like we could have done something a little bit more instead of him just being this weird background extra. And now we've arrived at my biggest issue with the entire thing that honestly ruined it for me. I was having an okay time. I laughed a little bit. It was carefree up until the end. Someone explained to me why he jumped in the ocean and got rescued from the Coast Guard once again. I guess I can see the argument of it was going to take too much time for him to drive to the Sydney Opera House, so he wanted to take the helicopter or whatever, and it was a tie back to when they took the helicopter together after he saved her. But it was so poorly done. I could see intellectually that that's maybe the connection they were trying to make, but it did not deliver for me. It was so weird and out of the blue, and it was supposed to be this grand gesture of love. She's smiling at the helicopter as if she can see who's in it. Girl, no you can't. And then he is dropped off as if it's no big deal that he just used, country resources willy-nilly. I don't know. It really took me out of the story, and I couldn't be carefree about it because it was so awkward to me. It was like they were trying to shove this romantic moment down my throat, and I was like, whoa, that is way too big of a bite. And it doesn't even taste good. It was so cheesy and weird in its delivery. Did anyone else feel this way? Me and my friend Jatil were looking at each other, massively confused through that whole scene. And then he runs up to her, he confesses his love, but again, it felt so surface level. You guys have known each other for what, 3 days? And one time 2 years ago, you talked for hours. That's it. That is all we're basing this love on. Call me cynical, call me crazy, but it just felt like they were trying to be the proposal or something like that. If you've ever seen that movie with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock and their big confessional at the end, felt similar, but I feel like the proposal actually pulled it off because they had known each other for years working together. Whereas this one, you guys have only seen each other for like 4 days. Where is this love coming from? The hating to loving to hating to back just felt weird to me. I don't know what more there is to say. I did not have a good time watching this. Then at the end, they have their little unwritten medley of everybody singing. I originally thought when that scene started that it was going to show us throughout their life of them and their relationship in the future, them singing this song in these different settings. Oh, I was here for that. It was going to be cute and cheesy and awesome. Then, all of a sudden, they started showing all of the other people in the movie, and I, once again, just felt disconnected. I did not understand what the vision was for this last scene. I think it was trying to be funny and whimsical, but it just felt cheesy and weird, and I didn't really get it. And in the end, I think this is a classic case of really great PR, but pretty crappy movie. You know, I will not be swayed by good PR. Your girl has values and a critic's eye. I don't care how much promotion you do. I don't care how much chemistry they fake in the promos and on the red carpet. I will see it for myself, and I will tell you straight to your face if this was good or not. And in my opinion, this was not a good movie. I would not watch this again. I really wouldn't. Do I think a lot of people would disagree with me? Absolutely. But this is my personal opinion. So on my scale, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It was just so average to me. On everybody else's, I am going to say this is probably an average movie watcher's good time. I'm being generous because I think a lot of women really like the main guy. They find him very attractive. I'm keeping that in mind, and I'm going to go 7 out of 10 for the rest of you. But guys, there's better rom-coms out there. There are. And they're more fun, and they can be just as cheesy. Cheesy is not a problem with me. I love a good cheese. My favorite's Gouda. That's a She's the Man quote. I love cheese, but it's gotta be done right. I gotta be giggling. And I was not. I was cringing when I was watching Anyone But You. Let's move on to another new movie that just dropped out of theaters. Mean Girls, the musical. I will say I have never seen it on stage, so keep that in mind. I am a very big Renee Rapp fan. I have been a fan of hers before I even knew she did acting. I love her music. Her song Tattoos, oh, so good. I think that was on my Spotify Wrapped 2022 and 2023. 2 years in a row. That song slapped for me. It just has such a great tone to it. Love her voice. Love her music. I absolutely recommend listening to her intro album. So good. I think it's just like an EP or something. It's fantastic. For anyone that doesn't know, she is the one that plays Regina George. I am a very big fan of the original Mean Girls. It is iconic. It's a cult classic. As I have mentioned before, it is a good time, so quotable. Highly recommend to anyone who has not experienced Mean Girls, get some girls together and watch it because it is worth a girls' night. It's so good. It's so funny. I am not opposed to a musical movie. All right, this has been discussed. You guys know my feelings on this. I am open-minded, but I gotta be honest, I didn't finish it. I didn't. I wanted to. I tried, but it just was kind of boring to me. And the main lead, her voice, not that great, which is funny to me because everybody else had such good voices. And I enjoy listening to good singers, but you're going to cast your main lead with this weak non-Broadway voice, and then you're going to have all of her counterparts be true Broadway stars? Didn't make sense to me. And the lyrics of the songs were not that catchy. When I watched Dear Evan Hansen, I had never seen that stage play, but I watched the movie, and I know that movie got a lot of beef from a lot of people about how the main lead looked and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. The songs in that movie, and obviously from the play, were bangers. And I loved it. And all of the voices that sang in that movie, I thought were great. But unfortunately, I cannot say the same for the songs and music in Mean Girls, the musical. It was just a pass for me. I'm sorry. I gotta be honest. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to watch things that don't entertain me or move me in some way. And Mean Girls, you didn't do anything for me. So it will be a 5 out of 10 on my scale, and I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10 on everybody else's. Because I truly do believe that the lead, as good as she was as an actress, did not have a strong enough voice to be in a musical movie. Let's move on to something I did enjoy this week. Very unexpectedly, I watched Queen Pins on Netflix. It has Kristen Bell as one of the leads, and this is based on a true story, you guys. I highly recommend watching this trailer. Here is the plot summary. You have a woman who gets really into couponing, and she realizes that if you email companies complaints, they will usually send you coupons for free items to try their product again. So what she does is she actually goes to the manufacturer of these free coupons, and she then sells the free coupons for half the price of what the product is. It's totally illegal, don't get it wrong, but she is a businesswoman, and her partner, they end up making tons of money selling these coupons. And I had the best time watching it. It was a bit slow, just fair warning, but I was so entertained. I really was. And this is definitely my type of movie. The most interesting plots and stories that are real. Oh, I can't get enough of that. And I really felt like I connected to this because I will one day be an extreme couponer. Just know that. That's a dream of mine. Okay, I used to watch Extreme Couponers on TLC. I ate that crap up. If I had the storage space, I want you all to know I would already be on this. I would be having multiple stockpiles. I would have the food storage, all that crap. Okay, my parents are preppers, but I would take it to a next level and I would be a couponer. I love the adrenaline that you get when you save money. If I have a coupon, I'm gonna use my coupon. I am so type A that I think I would do so well with the extreme coupon side. It's very organized. It's a bunch of spreadsheets. That's my bread and butter. That's giving me chills at the prospect of extreme couponing. I do follow quite a few extreme couponers on social media just so I can, be in the club. And I've gotten some deals from it. But the level to which I know I could achieve, I am not ready for that yet. And I don't think any roommate of mine is ready for that yet either, because that would affect their life as well. I would be getting so much crap into the apartment, and it's hard to combat these ideas of me wanting to be a minimalist, but also have a stockpile. Oh man, it's so hard when I live in both extremes. One day I watch a documentary on minimalism and I am absolutely convinced that I should throw away every single thing in my house. Get a phone with 2 buttons, no social media, all of that. I actually think I would really like that. But then at the same time, whose lives am I blessing if I'm doing that? I need social media so that way I can promote my podcast to, be friends with all of you. It's a classic catch-22 situation that I'm in, and I feel like we all can relate to this to some degree. I did delete TikTok last August. 8 months I have been clean from that app. Oh, I wish it felt better saying that. I wish that it didn't come with so much regret. It's just so hard to not be in the know. I feel so behind on every trend, and I'm not that person. I am the trend. I am so on top of it. I love being in the know. I love teaching my friends about the things that have been going on in the world that they're unaware of because they don't really use social media. I like being the person that does. But, you reach a point in life when you realize that you are fully addicted to something. I think the turning point for me was when I realized I was spending 8 hours a day on this app. How is that even possible? That is how long I spend at work. 8 hours a day. How was I spending that much time on my phone? It was just next level bad. I would be scrolling at night, begging myself to go to sleep, telling myself, you're done. Put the phone down. And I couldn't. I could not get myself to stop. I put all of the, 15-minute timers on there, all of the alerts. I locked my phone. I deleted it for a month. I tried a bunch of things. I minored in behavioral analysis, okay? I know how to change behavior. And I put myself on a behavior plan. I did. And even that wasn't enough. Because weaning myself was never going to be what did it for me. I am such a true addict to my core that I knew if I was going to stop and get rid of it, that I had to cut myself off cold turkey. And I needed there to be no way to gain access to my account again. So what did I do? I set up my TikTok with my Swiss number back when I was living in Switzerland because I knew once I switched that SIM card back to my US one, I wasn't going to be able to do the double authentication because I also set it up with my student email in Switzerland that I was not going to have access to once my semester was over. Oh, I had to think of everything. I had to double and triple check myself to make sure that there was no way that I could get back into this account. And when I flew home, I switched out my SIM card and I deleted TikTok. Obviously, I could get TikTok back if I really wanted to. I could re-download it. But I would have to completely recreate the 3-year For You page that was perfectly curated for me. And I'm not here to do that. I deleted it for a reason. I was trying to be a minimalist, all right? I was cutting myself off. And I, again, wish I could say that my life has benefited greatly from that. But I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be so real with you. Like, it hasn't. I wish I could say that I'm just so much better of a person and I use my time more wisely. That 8 hours that I got back, I use for self-improvement and helping others. I wish I could say that, but, you know, I can't. Okay, I feel like I'm not giving myself enough credit. I did improve in a lot of things, and it's given me time to do this podcast. So there's that. And a lot of different passion projects, but I do miss it every single day. I do. And honestly, I just replaced it with longer amounts on Instagram and, heaven forbid, Facebook. That's how desperate I am. I'm on Facebook. Just scrolling away. Oh my gosh. I want to delete it all. I gotta figure out a way to cut myself off without, completely getting rid of social media. You know what I mean? I need to find the happy medium. And you know what? I can't live without it because if I want to fulfill my dreams of becoming an extreme couponer, I need to be on these channels. I need to be following the extreme couponers because they give all the advice. So it's just, it's this terrible pit that you can't get out of, but you also need to be in. It's the worst. It's the worst. What were we talking about? I kind of lost track going on that tangent about TikTok. Let me reel myself back in. Queen Pins. I think that's where we began this little tangent. Queen Pins on Netflix. It was good. I had a good time. I do not think this is a movie for everybody. For my personal, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. For everybody else, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Watch the trailer, read the stuff on it before you go into it. But if you just want a very fascinating, funny movie about extreme couponers, I do recommend Queen Pins. Because I know not everybody has Netflix or they have a couple different platforms, I'm just going to do a rapid fire of some good things for you to watch on different platforms. I'm not really going to give too much detail on them. Look up the trailers yourselves, but these are movies that I do recommend for everybody. Disney Plus, I'm going to go with McFarland USA. If you want a good sports, feel-good movie, McFarland USA and Invincible, those are both really good times. Sticking with just a good, entertaining movie, I did like Quiz Lady on Hulu. That has Awkwafina and Sandra Oh from Grey's Anatomy. That was just a good, entertaining movie. I think most people would find it fun. If you want an interesting documentary on IMAX, Savior Complex. Ooh, that one was good. That one was very interesting, and it's obviously a true story. It's very biased, so keep that in mind. It's about the missionary Renee Batch. If you know anything about her or her story or anything like that, she was majorly canceled and accused of murder of a lot of malnourished children in Africa. It tells basically her side of the story because she has been kicked out of Uganda, and it was interesting. It was interesting. It's 3 episodes. If you are a documentary murder type person, I do recommend. If you like a little mystery and just some controversy, then yeah, Savior Complex should be on your list. Moving on to Freevee, which I believe that's free for anybody, but it does have ads. Jury Duty. If you have not seen Jury Duty yet, put this on the top of your list. It is 9 episodes. It is so worth watching. I can't even tell you. And I might have talked about this before on the podcast, so sorry if I have, but it is worth mentioning twice if that's the case, because it was so entertaining. Okay, basically the premise of the show is you have 11 actors and one person is not an actor and he has no idea that he's actually on a scripted TV show. He thinks that he is just there to kind of document his experience being on jury duty. It is unbelievable. It is so funny, but also incredibly wholesome. The guy that they cast, his name is Ronald. I would marry Ronald so freaking fast. If we want to talk about what my type is, it is Ronald from Jury Duty. He is the nicest, sweetest human. He is just so lovable and kind, and the fact that they basically pull a Truman Show on him, if you've ever seen that movie, highly recommend. They are all pretending, and he has no idea. He's like being pranked for weeks on end, and he takes it all with such good humor. Oh my gosh, I love him. I am obsessed with him, and I feel like all of us should be collectively on board the Jury Duty Ronald loving train. So if you haven't watched that, it is on Freevee. If you are a Hulu person, I've got 2 different ones. I have Normal People. If you enjoyed One Day on Netflix, or if you just don't have Netflix and you wanted to experience something like One Day, a series that will just take you and you will love it, but it will also wreck you to your core. Yeah, Normal People. That was my OG. And then I found One Day, and that is now my favorite one. But Normal People is just about 2 Irish kids in high school, and it takes you through their adulthood, and the ending pissed me off, but that doesn't matter. It's still really good, and I do recommend. I watched it with VidAngel, fair warning, because there is some nudity. Just be warned on that. I don't know how much there is because, again, I filtered it out, but Normal People really liked it. If you're looking for something a little bit more whimsical, not so indie and deep and might make you cry, and you're just like, no, I'd rather just have a good time, thank you so much, then I would do Palm Springs. It's a rom-com. It's a classic Groundhog Day, living the same day over and over again story, but I actually really enjoyed this. It had kind of a different twist on it, and I thought the acting was great, and the chemistry between the main leads was awesome. So Palm Springs on Hulu. All right, last one. If you are wanting something on Apple TV, it is a very deep, indie type film, my type of movie, not for everybody, but if you happen to be in a more serious mood and you want to be taken on a slightly emotional roller coaster, then I do recommend Cha Cha Real Smooth with Dakota Fanning. It was so good. This was probably going to be an 8.5 out of 10 for me. I think it's going to be a, 4 out of 10 for most people, just because I don't think a lot of people would enjoy the plot so much, but wow, it was just so good. And it had disability representation, which really matters to me. I love to see it. Dakota Fanning's daughter in the movie is autistic. I just really enjoyed this film. It made me feel a lot of things. I think I cried, if I remember correctly. Maybe just like a slight little tear down the face. It's a great discussional movie, in my opinion. Okay, now that we have just spent so much time on movies, because it's one of my favorite things to talk about ever, let's move on, shall we? Let's go to the notes section on my phone and read the random things that I've written and talk about them. Okay, first up we have my thought when I was walking in the grocery store and I was buying juice. And I said, who likes pulp in juice? I want to meet someone that has that as their hill to die on. That juice has to have pulp to be good. Because I really need to understand that argument. Because where I'm standing, my side of the hill, that's disgusting. Why would I ever pick something with pulp when it's going to get in my teeth and I'm going to feel that texture swimming around on my tongue? And I'm a chugger, all right? When I get a drink, that is going from glass to guzzle as quickly as possible. I want it in the stomach in as short a time as humanly possible. My friends will make comments on it sometimes, especially when I drink hot chocolate, because I have hot chocolate every single day. Doesn't matter the time of the year. I'm a hot chocolate girl. That is my beverage of choice. Imagine if I drank coffee, you guys. I'm telling you, it is a good thing that I stay away from addictive things, because I'm over here drinking hot chocolate as if it's an addictive substance. It is ridiculous. I will chug it so fast. Just at a very unhealthy speed. I just really like liquidy things. Here's what I tell people. If it can be put into a liquid form, I'd prefer it that way. My favorite chocolate, it's not just chocolate, it's melted chocolate. I will put my chocolate bars in a bowl and heat them up in the microwave and eat them with a spoon. That is my preferred format to eat chocolate. When I was on my mission, oh my gosh, I'm gonna really just out myself right now. I would buy those packs of Hershey's chocolate bars, you know, the ones that you get for a family camping trip and you're gonna go and you need, 24 bars of Hershey's. Yeah, I would get those, and then every morning I would throw one on the dashboard of the car because I served in California, and by noon it was totally melted because of the heat of the car, and I would just snip the corner and drink that like a freaking Go-Gurt. My companions thought I was insane, which valid. But also, that was the only thing that was really bringing me true joy at that moment, okay? Lay off. There were so many limited things that you could do as a missionary, so that was the one thing I could look forward to every single day, to have my little drinkable chocolate. Oh, it was so good. What can I say? I love things liquidized. Guys, I'm about to put you on to something, okay? Is your notepad out? Yeah, grab that pen, because I am about to say something that's about to change your life when it comes to drinkable things. Dutch Bros. Here's what you're gonna order. Cold pour chocolate milk. Get rid of that ice. Get that ice out of my frickin' face. I always be getting my ice on the side, all right? Don't be disrupting my drink. If I'm paying premium price, I want the whole thing filled with that liquid. So, now that we've established that, you're gonna ask for cold pour chocolate milk and then add kiwi and strawberry. I know, it sounds bizarre, but I am telling you, I am absolutely promising you that this tastes like a liquidized chocolate-covered strawberry. I don't know how else to put it. It is as if you took a bunch of chocolate-covered strawberries and zapped them and made them into a liquid form. That is what this tastes like. It is so freaking good. It is my favorite drink of all time. I love chocolate milk. Pretty much anything chocolate. Yes. Get that and then get your cup of ice on the side in a separate cup, and then you just pour it in so that it's nice and ice cold, and you can get 3 times the amount of drink. Oh, guys, it is so good. Please DM me pictures of you ordering this. It would make my whole day. It really would. And I want you to review it. Okay, but I do need a preface. If you end up hating it, it's okay. I didn't make the drink. I didn't invent it. I will not be personally offended because I don't have that much stake in the game, I'm gonna like it regardless of your opinion, but I have shared this drink with many a person, and I have yet to find someone who did not agree that it tasted like a chocolate-covered strawberry and that it was good. If you don't like chocolate milk, okay, don't order it because you're probably not gonna like it. But if you like chocolate milk and you like chocolate-covered strawberries, Dutch Bros, this is your order. Next up, we have, why do I forget how to be a full functioning experienced driver when I'm at a car wash? I am terrified at a car wash, and for no reason. It's not that complicated, it's not that hard, but there is just something about the structure that just gives me so much fear. When I am driving through the gates, I put in my, what I want. I want the cheapest one, thank you so much. I'm really just here for the vacuums. And then, the guardrail lifts, but it still hasn't spit out my card yet. I'm afraid that the guardrail is going to fall on my car, so I'm stressed to get through the little guardrail. Then I make it around the little corner, and I got to fit my tire into that space, and you have someone waving me at way too fast a pace. It's just stressing me out. They're spraying my car at the same time. I can't see. I don't know why, but the second I put my car into neutral and just hands off the gears, feet down. Maybe it's the fact that I'm a control freak, but that is unnerving to me. I don't like it at all. I don't think I could own a Tesla or self-driving car for that reason. I need to be touching the wheel. I need foot on pedal if I'm going to be in the driver's seat. If I'm passenger or something, I'm fine. But if I'm in the controller's seat, I need control. Oh, it stresses me out. And then at the end, I am way too close to that car right in front of me. They're not switching into gear quick enough. What if I crash into them? There's just so many factors here that make it into a scary experience for me. And I don't know why it's that way. It's so dumb. I mean, I see it. I see how dumb this is. But every time, my heart rate just increases so much the second I pull into a car wash. And then we go to the vacuums, all right? I'm overstimulated. There is a lot of noise happening with these vacuums. I'm bending over, I'm taking placemats out, I'm sweating, and then I don't know where the cloths are. Everybody else seems to have it figured out. It's clearly a me problem, but I don't know where the cleaning rags are. I don't know what I should be using the cleaning rag on. Should I be wiping off the car? I know you always have these like men with their trucks, and they seem to know that place. They clearly got a membership. They know where everything is. So I'm just trying to follow their lead. They take their mats to the, mat cleaner device, but theirs are plastic. Mine are fabric. Can mine go in there? I don't know. And I'm too stressed out to read. There's so many people there. I am usually fine with crowds and all this stuff, but for whatever reason, I am a different person when I enter a car wash. Everything that normally doesn't stress me out becomes my biggest trigger. In that setting. I am so fine if I'm the passenger, but when it's just me in my car, I freak out. I don't know if there's any other way to say that. I've been to plenty of car washes in my life. You'd think I'd get over it by now, but no, I went last week and I was once again just thrust into the stress and thought to myself, why are you this way? Why? Stop this. It's ridiculous, but at least it gave me a topic to discuss here and now. Rather than just being stressed out, I decided let's take out my phone and write notes of this experience, and it did make it a bit more funny and enjoyable. So thanks to the pod for helping me through these things that just make no sense to me. Next, we have a very simple note. I wonder if there'll ever be a day where I don't get chills watching a trailer put out by Taylor Swift. Her tour movie is dropping on Friday to Disney+. I very unfortunately could not go to the concert because I was living in Europe. I did experience it in theaters and I'm very excited to watch it once again on Disney+. I am definitely a Swiftie. I would proudly call myself that. Do I know all of the nuances and the behind the scenes and her hidden Easter eggs? No, I don't. I spend my time in other places. But I love the people that are very into that. And I have mad respect for them and honestly the work that they do. It couldn't be me. I'm not passionate enough about it. But I love me some Taylor. And I do get those little goosies every time I watch a trailer from her. Because homegirl is a businesswoman and she knows exactly what she is doing. This one was on my story. I posted about it. My siblings and I would talk a lot about our 7 rings of hell. What situations do we just never want to be in? One of them for me is going to be someone handing me a blank piece of paper and then some paint or colored pencils, just basically an array of art supplies and saying, have fun, be creative. Absolutely not. No, thank you. Take it away. I do not want to be creative. I don't want to doodle. I don't find that enjoyable at all. I am so uncreative in that particular way. That's not to say that I'm not creative. Your girl is very arts and crafty, okay? Give me a super glue gun and I'm gonna go to town. I made cute little luggage cases for my apartment that I will very proudly post on the Instagram because that idea came from my little noggin. All right, I didn't look up really any tutorials on this. I tried. Trust me, I tried. But there wasn't really anything that I was looking for. So I just thought, yeah, I could do this. And I did. I went and got fabric. I went and got thumbtacks from the dollar store. The majority of what you're going to see is from the dollar store, okay? The dollar store is never used enough by us as a society, and I will die on that hill. I mean, side tangent, I wallpapered my entire bedroom wall. I wanted like an accent wall for $13 from the dollar store. Okay, it looked so good and it was so easy to put up and incredibly easy to take down after a year of it being up. I will post the video because it looked so freaking cute. I looked on Amazon and a bunch of other sites to find stick and peel wallpaper because I am in a rental, and they were so freaking expensive. Nah, guys, what are you doing? Go to the dollar store. Go to the dollar store because they have so much more there than you think. Fake flowers? Don't you dare go to Hobby Lobby for some fake flowers. That is going to cost you $10 for a little bundle. Nah, go to the dollar store. Okay, sorry. Going back to what I was originally saying, which is about creativity. I can be very creative, very artsy fartsy. I made an entire dress out of cardboard one time. When I talk about the Hunger Games, that will be brought up because I made it based off Effie Trinket. I was feral for the Hunger Games series. I'm sure that's going to be its own episode because I do need to review the new Hunger Games movie and book. So stay tuned for that. But just know, if you give me a basis of what I'm going to do, then I'm fine. But if you're just leaving the idea up to me, especially drawing, no, I'm out. Immediately out. I would rather do anything else, any other task. Give me physical labor. I'd rather do that than just sit there and try to draw, which is why I have so much respect for anybody that possesses that talent, because that's a nightmare for me, and I wish that it wasn't. On this same topic, though, of the 7 Rings of Hell, I figured out what another one of them is this past weekend. It is getting out of a church parking lot after stake conference. Oh my gosh. Terrible. Horrible. If you are unaware of what a stake conference is, it's just basically a special meeting that happens every 6 months where your church congregation combines with other church congregations in your area. So instead of it just being like one meeting full of 400 people, no, there are 10 other congregations full of 400 people all meeting together. These are thousands of people meeting, okay? And that parking lot situation with only young single adult congregations, everyone is so effing selfish. They do not know how the proper rules of traffic go, and Utah traffic is another tangent I could get on just for hours of how terrible it is. Absolutely terrible. We have the longest on-ramps of anywhere in the United States. Did you guys know that? Because nobody lets you in. They refuse to let you merge. It is a nightmare out here with these moms with minivans and their 10 children that they're towing along. They will not let you in. They will come over when you are sick and give you food and give you the shirt off their back. But you want to merge into their lane? Think again. Absolutely not. You are never getting in. And that's how it feels in these church parking lots. Instead of doing the proper zipper where one person goes, then the next, no. Everyone's just fighting for their spot. We're in a standstill for hours. I was sitting in that parking lot for 25 minutes. I've spent less time sitting in concert parking lots. Why am I sitting there for that long after a church meeting? This is ridiculous. Yeah, one of my rings of hell for sure. To end, I'm going to tell you about a new invite I have to our table. If you have no idea what this means, go back and listen to episode 5. It will explain everything and you will be in on this inside joke. But I'm just going to assume that everybody's listened to it. So you guys, here's our newest invite. Pull up a chair for whoever came up with the stupid idea to take the headphone jack out of the iPhone, force everybody to get AirPods and that new charging cable, the lightning charging cable, so that they can't charge their iPhone at the same time that you're listening to music, which is terrible for airplanes because my headphones are going to die. They are gonna die. So my options are either directly plug my headphones into my phone and drain my phone battery while my AirPods charge, or drain my AirPods and let my phone charge. Why? But then they switched it to the new charging cable, so now you need adapters for everything? Oh, you are on my hit list. Sit your butt down, because you better have a freaking good explanation that isn't just money driven, all right? Because clearly this is just capitalism at its finest and you're pissing me off. I want to know some very good reason for you to pull this crap. Start talking. In a similar vein, iPhone. Why in the world can I not speed up my audio messages and listen to them not out of the app? Are you kidding me? Every other app that I have, like WhatsApp, Marco Polo, things like that, I can send an audio message. You can listen to it on 1, 1.5, 2 or 2.5 speed, and I don't have to be on the app. I can press play, exit out of the app, go to something else while I'm listening to it. Why is this not a feature? Why? It is 2024. Get it together. I'm just gonna need the owner or CEO of Apple to just constantly be at the table, because it seems like every other day I have questions of why is this not possible, or why did you choose to do these things? Permanent spot labeled for you, CEO of Apple. Oh, you're making me mad. Whew, okay, I feel like we shouldn't end on me being negative, right? That doesn't feel on brand for me, so let's end on a positive note. Here is my final note that I will read to you. You know what's crazy? College athletes. They are straight up waking up at the butt crack of dawn to go to practice. They go to full-time classes, they do homework, and somehow they still have to go to another practice in the afternoons and travel on the weekends. You guys, I could never. I have so much respect for those that do. Here's my question for you though. Do you ever feel like all of your identity is wrapped up in your college sport and you feel like you miss out in some way of just being a normal college student? Do you ever feel like you don't know who you are without your sport? This is a genuine question that I have, because I don't know if I could see past those lines. I am very obsessive, so my sport would be all that I am if I was athletic. I really do think I would not know what to do after college. And knowing that I would never get to an Olympic level, that's a whole different ballgame. Olympians? Are we kidding? Wow. Incredible. The dedication, the things that they are willing to put their body through is actually insane. But just on a college level, that is crazy. You must be exhausted. How do you get all of your homework done? I feel like I need to interview college athletes to get answers to these questions, because I am just beyond impressed with them. Let us remember when we're tired that there is some college athlete out there that's pooped beyond belief. That is just absolutely run to the ground in exhaustion, and they still are expected to get good grades. Wow. Power to ya. You'll be in my prayers, because that could never be me. And with that, I think let's end. Yeah? Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts on life, because this has been Life According to Nikki.